How about those?
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, your number one source for Chiefs news. I'm your host, Nick Athan, joined by Mr. Lou Montagna. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, I'm already off today. Well, Lou's in there.
That's all right. I'm here, Nick.
And so is Coach Dre. But that's Mr. Hense Todd, my producer and partner extraordinaire, who helps make the wheels turn here at the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. Hey, it's the holidays. I'm all mixed up. A lot of holiday parties, a lot of family stuff. So we are here on what could have been a Red Friday. Instead, it's a relaxing Friday where we can sit back and relax. The Chiefs don't play for another 9 days, so we got plenty of time to catch up. So, hey, before we start the show, let's talk about our sponsors who make the wheels go round. First up, my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes. With the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group, if you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City area, give Eric a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Fact or Cap.
This is true. Another proud sponsor is my amazing, incredible wife, Emily Athan. If you're looking for the best health insurance option for you and or your family, or maybe a small business, she understands the marketplace plans plus private options that are available to you that you might not be aware of. So if you want to reevaluate your current health insurance, give her a call at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
All right, next up is our newest sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Save big on the hottest electronics. At Resell Electronics, we offer the best deals on new and pre-owned TVs, game consoles, cameras, plus so much more. With 2 convenient locations along Noland Road in Independence, stop by and visit us today.
That's right, Resell Electronics, the number one source for your electronic needs. You want to make sure you give them a call today at 816-886-7285. And if you've got some old stuff you want to get some cash for, they'll give it to you, give you cash for it. But if you've got, maybe some late Christmas presents, to let them know when you walk in, just say, hey, guys at Chiefs Blitz and Bow Ties sent us, you get 10% off. 2 locations, 1214 South Noland Road, and then on Noland Road and 40 Highway inside the flea market. They're your one-stop shop for all of your electronic needs. That's resellelectronics.com.
Resell
Electronics.
I love it. All right, now there he is, the other senior member, Mr. Lou Montagna.
A lot of people have mentioned that maybe Hense and I were separated at birth.
It's possible.
I mean, it's one of those things, but no problem, Nick. We know what you're talking about. We know who you're talking to.
But the coach, Andre Tillman, as well. Oh. What's up, guys? Sorry, I guess I'm rusty today. We only did the show, 2 days ago?
Yeah. It's been a long damn week.
Yeah, you said Elf. Like, ain't Christmas? We're about over Christmas now.
No, we're gonna do Christmas one more. We're gonna do Christmas through the weekend next week. Maybe we'll be
the season can never be too long.
Maybe we'll have a Happy New Year kind of thing. So
yeah, I guess the elves are still working. Huh?
Yeah,
hey,
just put them in diapers for.
They're working towards next year.
Yeah,
I want to thank everybody for joining in. Also, want to give it's one of
appreciate it, St. Clair. Appreciate it.
It's one of our elves' birthday today. So It was shout out to Coach Dre.
Oh, it's your birthday today? Oh, I'm ignorant. I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
A couple of Christmas babies here, right? The Bowtie Squad, both of you born in December. Was it the same year?
You are the brothers separated.
Same age.
Same month. Wow. It was just destined
in the 20s. In the 20s, the early part and the last part of 20s, man. You know, yeah, man.
So the last part of your 20s. Wait, 29?
Because Hense is 22, right? 22, right?
Yeah.
22, 27. Yep. See, mine's later in. His is the earlier part.
I don't think so.
I'm 38. Me and Dre 38. But hey, and speaking of 38, Cash App Bowtie Sports, $38 for Dre's birthday for me. Send it to me. I'll just play.
Do you see? You see how selfish that sounded? Send it to me. So I can take taxes out of it, and then I'm gonna send it back to Dre. Whatever's left, you know.
Whatever's left.
Good luck with that.
So with that said, man, shout out Dre, man. Happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Happy birthday, sir.
I know your Cardinals and Bengals and make the playoffs. So
no, my Bengals gonna make it.
It's a 1% chance.
They have a 1% chance.
Hey, that's all we need. Hope.
Hey. I don't like that odd. I don't like those odds.
So with that said, man, hey, we gotta a rest, like Nick said before the show, we got a restful weekend. You know what I mean? Don't gotta be sitting at the edge of your seat wondering if the offensive line's gonna protect well or Mahomes ankles. Now you can rest and relax and watch everybody else go to the gauntlet because we are 2 playoffs. We are in the division round. You know what I mean? We won a playoff game like Mahomes said. Mahomes said they treated the Pittsburgh Steelers game like a playoff game. You know what I mean? So, it was a playoff game. They won, on Christmas, and now they got a division round. So, let's rest up. So, with that said, what do you have today for us for fact or cap?
Here we go, gang. Strike up the band, Hensley. Yes, it's that time again today, fans. It's Friday, not Red Friday, as we've painstakingly kind of brought that across. But yeah, it just feels like it's been a long week. Christmas in the middle of the week, you had the game, but now it's like, hey, what do we do this weekend? Plenty of games, plenty of action. We'll take it. Look at a few of them here in our little segment we love to call Fact or Cap. You guys in the chat, go ahead and play along. Give us your thoughts. And the guys on the panel will give us theirs. So let's start right at the top. We talked about those Bengals and Denver. Denver goes there. It's tomorrow. Actually, a couple of, pretty meaningful games on NFL Network tomorrow. Actually, all 3 of them in some regard. Chargers probably need to keep pace there to kind of keep a lock on that 6th seed. But anyway, the middle game is Denver at Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati does have a very minuscule chance of getting into the playoffs. Yeah, Burrow putting up some pretty monster-ish type numbers. If you compare him up against Lamar and Josh Allen, outside of their win-loss record, you'd have to say, hey, this guy's having like an MVP type year. But here they are at 7-8. They were 4-8. They won 3 in a row. Denver seems like they haven't played in a month. That game at SoFi seemed like I said, like 30 days ago. But here we are. They're 3.5-point underdogs at Cincinnati. We're not going to predict the game right here. I've got it in my best bets. But the statement is this. Even in a week where Green Bay is at Minnesota, this will be the best game of the weekend. Fact or cap, Hensley?
I would say, it's I say it's a fact.
Game of the weekend, yes.
Game of the weekend because I want to see. I don't like the Broncos and I don't like the Bengals.
I hate them both.
Both of the orange teams. Fighting to see who can have the last orange color in the crayon box. So we'll see what happens there. So I'll say it's a fact.
Hate's an awful word. Let's not go there. I just like both teams. Sean Payton has been working his guys to the bone to get ready for this game. They got a statement to make. I think it is going to be the game of the weekend. I'm not going to predict who wins, but I think it's going to be a fourth quarter last possession game.
You damn right it's gonna be the game of the goddamn week. Fact. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah. JB, man. Hell yeah. We're gonna take over this game. We're gonna get busy. Yes. Game of the week. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be there's gonna be some fireworks because it seems like Burrow's gonna put up numbers. Chase is having an historical type season. But they can't seem to really stop many teams. So Denver comes in. They've had like extra time because again they did play that Thursday night game. It was flexed in, and Sean Payton had a choice there. They'd already played a Thursday night game, and I think maybe he was looking at this game and saying, "All right, we'll have extra time to prepare." So here we go. I think it is going to be a very good game. Going to be close. I think maybe Denver gets them at the end, but yeah, it should be a good one. All right, I mentioned the other one. Now this is the AFC North. We'll go to the NFC North. Green Bay is at Minnesota. Minnesota is a 1-point favorite in this one. There are still pockets in the NFL community, in the media, and so forth that still believe that Green Bay actually is the better team here, even though they're behind them in the standings by 2 games. Like I said, Minnesota is only a 1-point favorite. They're the home team. What's going on here? You got B-Flow's defense. Jeff Hafley's done like an amazing job with that young Green Bay crew coming over from Boston College. He's the defensive coordinator there. You got LaFleur versus KOC. They were on that almighty staff in Washington under Mike Shanahan back in the day. So the statement is this: regardless of all of that, Sam Darnold gets it done again. And he puts one more feather in that cap to, I don't know what kind of award he needs to get, most improved. I don't think he's eligible for the comeback player of the year because he wasn't hurt or anything. So, but Sam Darnold is going to get it done again. Hensley.
I would say Cap. I think Green Bay, I got them meeting up with the Chiefs in the
Green
Super Bowl.
Green Bay's going to get him. But what about this game? This game specifically?
Yeah, this game specifically, yes. I'll say, it's a Cap. I think Green Bay going to get it.
Very good.
Boy, it's a tough one for me. I mean, I've got the Chiefs and the Packers in the Super Bowl. That's my dream scenario. But this is in Minnesota, correct?
It is.
I got a feeling Minnesota's luck's going to run out, and I think Green Bay's going to win this football game. So I'm going to say
there's that 4-letter word again, folks. That's been the Chiefs have had kind of the holdover with the NFL media and other fan groups. Luck. Come on, Nick.
Packers.
Can I say,
Coach? All right. So you are saying Cap. Sam will not do it again.
He won't.
Okay. I'm going fact. I've been riding Minnesota in the best bets. It seems like for a month. They just keep doing it, and I can't get off of them. Now I think Green Bay is another one of those teams that I've been,
sweep it under the rug, man.
That I've been on for the last few weeks, and there's certainly some separation in the NFL in both conferences where there's about 3 or 4 teams in each conference that are just better than everyone else.
Yeah,
and they show it every week on the field. And I don't know if the sports apps are taking a beating or whatever, but it seems like this one may be a little bit more of a split, but I'm going Minnesota all the way here. Sam the man. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Record. We mentioned some records that are in jeopardy here. I think Brock Bowers has a legitimate chance of setting the receptions record for a rookie. Puka set it year back at 105 receptions. Brock's at 101. A lot of his numbers are up there in the wide receiver, just receiving in general. We shouted out Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, he's quietly had a huge year on a crappy team. His ex-teammate Malik Neighbors is up there too. He's got 97 receptions, and he just in a dumpster fire for the Giants. So all these rookies are doing very well. But the big record, of course, is Saquon Barkley going after Eric Dickerson. Now, Eric Dickerson came out, said some things like he didn't think Saquon would do it. Wasn't being malicious. It was in full support of him. Certainly doesn't want him to get the record. Okay. But here we are. He needs 268 yards in the last 2 games, which is completely doable. Doesn't look like Hurts is going to play this week, so maybe he gets a lot more attempts. We'll see. But OJ got 2,003 in 14 games.
Right.
Okay. Dickerson did his in 16 games. The statement is this: if Saquon gets the record and it takes him 17 games, it will be viewed as a little less than because he had an extra game. Hensley, factor cap.
I'll say fact. Because he had a less game, a more game to do it with, and also I thought there was Von Miller in those glasses there. I said, "Oh, Von Miller," but it is not so. But again, I say fact.
Dickerson's a big dude now. He got that. You guys still have that Jerry curl rolling.
Yeah,
you can see the juices dripping.
Yeah,
that's half of the Pony Express right there, boys.
Yeah, it's so
put that bag at the back of the seat where it won't get oil on the back of the seat.
Oh gosh. Okay, on to my take.
Let's go, Nick. What do you
honestly, I think Nick
Curl?
Sirianni is going to just feed him the ball. It's an ego thing for him, and I think it's something he wants to put an exclamation point on the fact that they got Barkley and he's done all these great things. I'm not an Eric Dickerson fan, so it does skew things a little bit, but I'm going to say fact, he breaks the record.
Coach.
I'm gonna say he breaks the record, but what you was talking about, Lou, as far as the games and how he did, it doesn't matter. The record gonna get broken anyway. It needs to be broken. It doesn't matter. Saquon breaking the record.
Yeah, this is always that thing. I mean, as the game has evolved and so forth. I mean, you think of OJ doing it 14. I don't know that many people look back at it as that, but if you were around at that time and saw him do it, it was simply ridiculous because how many yards he had to average. He got over 2,000 the last day of the season in Old Shea Stadium against the Jets in the snow. It was just kind of a magical thing. Yeah, it's just, again, in this day and age where, again, the running backs have been devalued a little bit, I think maybe that does kind of alleviate some of that, doing it in 17 games. So I'm going to say cap. Now, maybe right away, like for a couple of years, but I think moving forward, then it'll just be, hey, Saquon has the record. Okay,
so,
finally, last matchup of the week. Another big one in the NFC. You've got Atlanta going to Washington. Now, Atlanta looked like they were left for dead because, Kirk Cousins wasn't playing very well. He was getting benched. It's like, okay, we're just going to see what we have in Michael Penix Jr. But they're like, wait a second. We still have a shot at the playoffs. Atlanta wins. Baker goes down in Dallas, and now all of a sudden you got a fight. So now in his second career start, Michael Penix goes on the road to face I'm guessing the rookie of the year. And I guess Washington wants to kind of solidify their seed because they're kind of locked in. They are in the playoffs, but it's a pretty strange dynamic here because it could be do or die for Atlanta. So Michael Penix, let's see him do his thing. But the statement is this: regardless of Penix, Washington absolutely rolls Atlanta Saturday night. Fact or cap, Hensley?
I'll say fact. The second coming of Patrick Mahomes is Jalen Daniels. No one else. Not Josh Allen. Not Lamar Jackson. Not Joe Burrow. No CJ Stroud. I told you that boy was just a one-read guy. But again, Jalen Daniels, the guy I've been calling out for the longest. Yes, they're going to shred the crap out of his Atlanta Falcons. And yes, he's the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. You heard it here first on Chiefs Blitz.
So that's a fact for you, correct?
Fact.
I think so.
all that to a fact.
All that bluster.
All
right, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it simple, short, and sweet. Fact. No way Michael Penix can go with his inexperience, go into Washington and win. No way.
What do you say,
Man,
Coach?
you say inexperienced like JD been in the league for a minute. I'm gonna go.
I'm just
Cap.
talking about more experience for the
I got
season.
you. I'm gonna go Cap, man. I'm gonna go Cap. I got faith in my guy. I got faith in Phoenix. I got faith in Phoenix, man. And their weapons. Their offense is very potent too. By the way,
it can be. Okay, it can be. We haven't seen a ton from. I mean, we had the occasional spurt. You know, from some of the wide receivers, Drake London. Occasionally, Bijan has a big game. You're like, okay, this guy's about to become Christian McCaffrey, whatever. So they've got a lot of potential on that offense. They just don't seem to kind of. Even last game, they got a couple of pick sixes. It was kind of, I don't know. I mean, it was the Giants, whatever. So I believe Washington's going to crush him. So,
yeah, I think so too.
So here we go. All right, gang, that's going to do it this week for Factor Cap. Thanks for playing along, and tune in next Friday. And well, hopefully, you know, we'll get some better topics here. Long week, Christmas week. Don't want to make excuses, but yeah, not exactly my best effort. But we're in here plugging away with our sponsor, Eric Haynes of the Eric Haynes Group.
That's right. All right, Lou, excellent job. I think the Saturday lineup's going to be terrific. 3 great games, all have implications of seeding or postseason berths. I love it. I like the way the NFL did it. I didn't particularly care for the 2 games on Wednesday, but other than the fact that the outcome was good for Kansas City, but nonetheless, I think on Saturday you're going to see some great NFL football going up against college football. So, hey, it's all good to me.
I feel like I'm in the Cowboy Stadium and somebody didn't close the shades.
You need to work on those blinds.
The sun's just beating in at this time of day.
That's right, because you are the bright apple out of the bunch today. All right.
So with that said, man, hey, everybody knows I don't talk to myself when I do this list. It's the Cube tells me what is part of the list. So hey, let's get right into it. It's the Cube's top 6, and you may be surprised. This is the Cube's top 6. Yeah, again. Yeah, that's me.
Huge surprise at the top this week, folks.
I'm holding the Cube, but is I'm talking to the Cube. Hey, maybe the Cube's talking to me. But again, let's get right into it, guys. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to see a list. It's the hottest list out there. I know Stephen A. got his list, but the Cube list is much better. So with that said, guys, let's get right into it. This is the top 6 teams. All right, I have the Chiefs.
Huge surprise at the top, folks.
Big surprise. I didn't know that.
The Cube has the 15-1. Yes, y'all heard that right. The 15-1 Kansas City Chiefs been 15-1. Hey, on their way to verge to have 16-1. To be the best record, arguably the best record in NFL history. You know what I mean? When it's all said and done. Then you got the Vikings. Yes, I know I said what I.
14-0 is still the standard.
Right, it's still the standard.
Yeah. I know the Cube said it what it said about the Vikings, but they've been playing very well. So he said he put them at number 2. Hey, the Eagles, yes, they got beat by Washington, but hey, the Cube still looks at them at number 3 at 12-3. Baltimore Ravens. Hey, they turned the defense around. They moved the safety around and put them where he's supposed to be at. They changed the scheme around before they could fit the players. Now they're 11-5 with a heck of a running game from Derrick Henry. So they at number 4. Washington Commanders. A lot of people thought the skinny rookie with the thin legs and small ankles wasn't going to get it done. But the kid is out here playing quarterback like no other. He's looking like Patrick Mahomes, the second coming of 15. I'm just saying, the Washington Commanders at number 5. A lot of people said, why you put them there? The Bills should put them there. But hey, I didn't make the list. The Cube made this goddamn list. So they 10-5, so they're at number 5. Now, yeah, I know they should be a little higher. We argued all night about this, but the Cube said put the Detroit Lions there at number 6 at 13-2 because these are going to be the last standing teams when it's all said and done in the playoffs. Do you agree, Nick?
All right, let's see. I'm back on the top list with the Chiefs at number 1. They're the best team in football. To win three games in 11 days, 2 of those games on the road, in very hostile environments. Ravens did it too, but they had 2 of those 3 games at home, and the Texans were just scrimmaging on. So I'm going to go the Chiefs number 1. I'm going to stick with my Lions at number 2. I got the Vikings at 3, Ravens at 4, and then I'll put the Eagles in front of the Redskins at 5, or Commanders, and the Commanders at 6. No Buffalo Bills for me, because I think every single person says the same thing. They don't have the defense to sustain any kind of success in the postseason. Going up against all these juggernaut offenses, it's just not going to happen. So they are not in the top 6. So that's how I would revise my version of the Cube.
Maybe Nick is the voice of the Cube, because that's the same thing the Cube said. Hey, I'm just saying.
Hey, my ass. Listen, I'm gonna say this. They bump the Eagles back. I put the Bills. I put the Bills at 3. I put the Eagles at 4. I put the Bengals at 5. I put my Bengals at 5 right now. I believe in them right now. My Bengals are at 5. I didn't shock the panel. I didn't broke the Cube down. It has malfunctioned. Nah, I got the Bengals playing a high level, man. I just got they have the best offense behind the Detroit Lions right now. I do believe in my Bengals right now. Let me see at 6.
You just gravitate from one losing team to another. It's amazing.
Hey, the offense. Hey, Joe Burrow.
Okay, who's it going to be after the Bengals don't make the playoffs?
They do have to.
I'm gonna just watch the football.
I'm
just watching
football. All right, so you're giving up after this one, correct?
You're gonna jump on Buffalo bandwagon.
No, I like Josh Allen.
I love Josh Allen.
Go ahead, Lou. On you, Lou.
All
All
right.
right. So I agree with 5 of these teams, not necessarily the order. The way I have it is I also have I'm coming around as far as where the Chiefs are, how they're playing, and so forth. So I'm going to have the Chiefs first. I've got Buffalo 2. I've got Philadelphia 3, Detroit 4, Baltimore 5, and Minnesota 6.
Interesting.
Now, 2 teams that I think are right behind it could easily have been in the top 6 are Green Bay and the Rams. Just we'll see what happens this weekend between Green Bay and Minnesota. I think the Rams do beat Arizona and end up winning that division. So there's gonna be a lot to be said there. But no, I think Buffalo had again, they're playing the Patriots. If we're going to give the Chiefs credit for gutting out wins when they weren't playing their best, I can't see how we can take it away from the Bills now and say, oh, geez, New England almost beat them. Well, I mean, if you look at the Chiefs record, there's several teams. You say, well, geez, Carolina almost beat them. Oh, my gosh, this team almost beat them. The Raiders almost beat them. Everybody almost beat them. Right. So we got to pump the brakes there. I think Philadelphia, without Hurts, that game completely changed. If Devontae Smith catches the easiest ball he'll ever see, they win that game last week, even without Hurts. So I'm not going to get my feathers ruffled too much over that game. Baltimore's playing as well as anybody right now, I believe. They've kind of got the defense. I think Zach Orr's got them kind of figured out. Again, Kyle Hamilton playing in the back now has just made a lot of difference. Humphrey playing more nickel, so that looks pretty good. So I'm going to stick with that order. I like the teams you have there. I don't think Washington is a top 10 team, but hey, you like Jaden Daniels, so stick with your guns.
He said he's the second coming. I thought old boy from Nebraska was the second coming to Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, it's not me. It's the Cube, guys. The Cube makes the list.
And the damn Cube ain't fixed.
Hey, I'm just saying, and that a lot of people arguing with Washington, but hey, I got the Cube told me last night.
You got faith.
I was going to sleep at 1 o'clock. I was going to sleep. I said I'm gonna go to sleep a little early, and the Cube said, "You know what? I think Washington should be there at number 5 because you know why?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's probably be the Chiefs in Washington playing in the Super Bowl." I said, "Whoa,
that Cube is broke.
Whoa, the Cube might not be broke, but it might be fixed, sir.
Take it back to resale. Take it back to resale." Hey, no, I had the same vision too with the Bengals. They said, "Hey, Joe Burrow, they gonna stick to the playoffs with the 1%. They only need 1% of faith, baby. It takes a mustard seed."
But with that said, that's sponsored. Thanks to Resale for sponsoring this segment here. The Cube, and like Drake said, maybe I need to take the Cube to Resale to get fixed. Maybe I need to go up there and buy another cube, baby.
The cube needs some lube.
So,
G-Pick, welcome.
There
I
you go,
love that take.
G-Pick.
That's great.
Yeah, man. The cube needs some lube. I like that.
the cube needs some lube.
Cube needs some lube.
Thank
All right,
you,
that's
Hensley.
the-
I've mentioned a few of the best bets. I got
All right,
Denver
let's do
plus
it.
3.5. The Rams for sure tomorrow night. I've been riding them. They're giving 6, a little bit bigger number, but I think Arizona's down a couple offensive linemen. I'm pretty sure Kyler's playing. Connor wants to play, but he's a little banged up. So
He's
we'll see
playing.
what happens with them. I love Minnesota. They're only giving up 1 point at home. I like Green Bay as well, and they're a damn good team, but Minnesota is just, I don't know. Maybe they're just that team this year that nobody saw coming, and they just every week they just keep doing it. And then finally, Washington's a 4-point favorite Sunday night against Atlanta. I love that they're putting Penix in there and giving him an opportunity,
Yep.
but right now Washington's going to be a little too much for Atlanta. So.
Yeah.
So where you stand from last week on this list from your top picks?
Last week was 4 winners and a push. I think the push was Minnesota -3. They ended up winning that game by 3 points in Seattle.
Right.
So that I guess could have gone the other way. I mean, certainly you'll take the push, but been pretty hot lately. I think that was now again. Now these are just games that I bet. I didn't put them on the show, but games that I bet. 2 of my favorite bets of the week were the Chiefs and Baltimore on Christmas Day.
I was thinking about something, Luke, earlier today when I was putting this segment together. I was saying maybe we should do like a segment, like a show where you just breaking down like teams to bait for, like it'd be like a betting show where people can place bets and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I guess we do that to some degree when we talk about the games. That would be a completely different show, but
let's do it because we might have a new sponsor that's going to fit perfectly into that.
Oh, here we go.
So with that said, let's get right into the sponsors, baby.
Let's talk about the sponsors, the companies that help us make things go round and round here at the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes. If you're looking for someone who can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, Eric Haynes is your guy. He took care of me and Emily when we bought our house. He was brilliant. He was resilient, and he got the job done, even though at times it looked like it wasn't going to happen. But he made sure, and he always said, Nick, don't worry, you got this. Everything's going to be fine. And in the end, it was. So if you want the same experience, call him at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esellscasey@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Fact or Cap.
Next up, my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan. She is the expert when it comes to health insurance. Whether you're looking for a private option or something through the marketplace, nobody understands how the industry works better than she does. All you have to do is give her a call at 913-215-9086. She can evaluate your current plan and get you a free custom quote for something that's going to probably work better for you financially and with better coverage. Again, my amazing wife, Emily Athan.
Emily.
That's right. That's right. And our newest sponsor, Resell.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
Check out all the stuff at Resell Electronics for all your consumer electronic needs. Whether you're buying something or you want to sell something, they're the guys to handle it. Don't go to the big department stores or the big chains. These guys have everything. Check out their locations, 1214 Nolan Road and 40 Highway Nolan Road in the flea market. Check out their website at resellelectronics.com.
Resell
Electronics. So with that said, guys, I was giving that thought some days. So I think that'll be a good show to talk about, like breaking down the bets, breaking down like having Lou, like it's he's a teacher at a science lab is something breaking down bets, getting everybody to join in because I don't know much about bets and everything else, so that'd be a good way to learn.
Let me be your drug pusher of choice. Right? You never bet before. Let's go. Anybody can do it.
Let me season your chicken. Man.
Download an app and you're ready to rock and roll.
So with that said, let's get into it. What will the Chiefs do with the long rest week, Lou?
Well, I think, in Big Red fashion, I mean, anytime they have like a bye week, it's typically been the same formula. They get a few days off, and then they
Hold
come
on.
back.
If we get started, we got a little breaking news.
Oh my goodness.
These surprises.
The baby.
First time here. Shout out to G Pick for the first time.
There you go. That's the breaking news. We want to make sure we
Mr.
love all of our
Lube.
all of our blitzers. Welcome to the blitzers, G Pick.
Welcome to Q with Lube.
You with the Lou.
Pick. All right. Hey,
And remember, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget.
That sounds like a gambler right there, right?
That could be.
But go ahead and finish.
So if you did, they'll get a few days off. The guys that need treatment will get their treatment, which is everybody at this point.
Yeah.
But some need a little bit more than others. Pops, Humphreys is still kind of on the mend. So this is going to be an opportunity for some of these guys to get right. We don't know what Coach Reid's plan is for Denver, but my guess is that, again, he'll treat it kind of like the preseason. The Chiefs tend to play their guys in all the preseason games. It's just a matter of how much.
Right.
Is it a couple of series? If he sees the offense is clicking, maybe it's one series, right? And then get some of the guys that haven't had much of a chance to play. And hey, injuries happen during the playoffs. You want to have some of the backups ready to go, get a feel for being on an NFL field for more than like 3 or 4 snaps, or just being a rotational player. Let's see what you can do with a little bit more opportunities. But then the other thing is just more of the self-scout. Right, just understanding. Okay, now that Hollywood's back and we've got some film of having him on the field with D-Hop, with Xavier, with Travis, just kind of all weapons on hand. What can we do? There's probably some openings that we didn't expect in the initial game plans of those games that, hey, during the playoffs we can take advantage of. So all those things that coaches typically do. But in terms of the players, you just hope that, again, the guys are a little dinged up, get a little bit better, and ready to roll for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think for me, the long rest is going to do them good. And the beauty of it is the Chiefs are going to play the Texans, Steelers, Broncos, or Chargers, teams they faced already this year. So it's easy. It's going to give them a big edge, I think, in game planning and knowing their opponents a little bit better, especially the Steelers or the Texans, because they played them recently and they beat them both. So, beating them again, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But I think what Andy's going to do is, obviously, I don't think the guys will be back at practice until Wednesday next week. I think he's giving them a full week off now. And then you're probably looking at, in the past with the bye week, he's generally given the guys the week off from practicing. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I think maybe they'll practice for 2 or 3 days, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get the weekend off and get ready to game plan for the divisional round would kind of be my guess. But listen, Andy Reid is a 3-time Super Bowl winning head coach. He has a tremendous plan when it comes to the playoffs and how he's going to get his guys ready and his coaching staff. So whatever he ultimately decides, but to me, heal up. And maybe Jalen Watson comes back. Rashee Rice is not going to make it back, Kenny. I know you asked that question. There's not a chance that that's going to happen. But there is a chance that Jalen Watson could return when the Chiefs make the AFC Championship game in Kansas.
Speak it into existence, huh? You change your wording, huh? I hear that. Yeah, of course, rest. Chris Jones need to get his calves together. Rest Mahomes' lethal ankle. Because the ankle been beat down for years, man. You need to give that ankle some rest. You know what I'm saying? You need to rest that ankle, man. So, and absolutely. I think the Chiefs going really, Chiefs need this. The Chiefs needs this rest. So, absolutely.
I think the big difference is the fact that they've got a bye week after that game, and they won't be playing real football for a while. And the biggest thing, and I think he maybe even said it in his presser, is whatever he needs to do for them to stay sharp. And it's one thing to practice and do walkthroughs and whatever, but to just get some live snaps against Denver, and maybe a little bit longer than any of us would expect. Now, again, the guys that are hurt, probably not so much, but anybody that's healthy, I think he's going to want, especially offensively, to kind of keep this rhythm flowing.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
My key for the rest will be, Patrick Mahomes have a big house. He got a nice house with a football field. Get all the offensive linemen over there. Everybody camp out, in the wide receivers, and they just practice on the field. Go close the ball back and forth and, play some golf, relax. I get to him and Worthy get on a better page on the deep balls. Because I don't think Worthy's going to be playing when that Broncos game or Mahomes.
I think so.
I'll be just practicing with those guys to get back on a court with Hollywood Brown and everybody else like that. But yeah, that was my take. So what you had to say?
I think really quick, one more thing to Andy Reid has, he's really prided himself in coming up with a game plan, and there is no restrictions for padded practices in the postseason. As for those people in the last couple of years have noticed, during the Super Bowl week preparation, Andy had the players in pads every day. I'm talking Monday through Friday. So, he knows how to get this team ready. And I think in lieu of some guys playing against the Broncos, you're going to see some padded practices.
Yeah.
So with that said, let's get into the next question. What, should Andy Reid leave Joe Tooney at left tackle for the playoffs? I know they sent DJ Humphries. He said he's gonna probably bring him back there. But if you was Andy Reid, should he just go ahead and just keep Joe Tooney there at left tackle?
Keep Tooney out there. Nah, hell no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all already got something going, something good, something great going right now. And Mahomes look very confident. Like I said, the team now you see Mahomes spread the ball around. Now, don't mess that up because you don't want him to worry. This is the wrong time to switch. The last two games, they've been efficient. They've been consistent on that line. Don't switch that up. Don't care. I don't care how much you pay this young man. Don't do it. You keep Tooney out there. Let him ball out and work with what you have going forward. That's it. Nah.
You meet yourself, Nick.
Sorry. I don't want another Elvis Gerbach playing instead of Rich Gannon
right
in the postseason. Rich Gannon plays in that postseason. They go to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure they're going to win or not, but remains to be seen. But I wouldn't mess with Thuney. It's rolling. It works.
Yes, it is. It's rolling.
And you know what? I don't think Andy's. I'd be surprised. I know. Listen, Humphrey's got $4.5 million, but $2.5 million guaranteed for the last 5 games. The other $2 million is incentives. Now, obviously, playing time and playing games isn't going to hit, but postseason and Super Bowl, he's going to collect a nice check. I think you keep him, ready to go. Make sure he's healed, and if Jawan Taylor struggles, you throw him out there at right tackle, and then you work with him in the offseason because next year I don't think Thuney's going to be the left tackle. Not at $28 million a year. They're going to have to do something to keep him. But either way, don't mess with what's working.
That's right.
I don't think Patrick's going to want it. I don't think Andy wants it. I don't think Andy Heck wants it. I think this is the way they have to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess the question, should he, based on what we've seen, yes. But if you ever hear him meaning Andy Reid, talk about the offensive line, is he always says the best 5 will play.
Exactly.
So the question is this: is the tandem of Tooney and Humphries, Tooney at his natural position and Humphries at his natural position, greater than Tooney playing at left tackle and Caliendo playing inside? What's better? And I think only he knows that. He's going to decide that, obviously. So I believe what will happen is if DJ Humphries is healthy enough and they believe that he can be out there playing, he will.
Yeah, I understand that. But, DJ Humphries came in and forced Nick Bosa and Khalil Mack, and it was getting dog walked out there. I know it's his first time. it was getting gruesome. But Joe Thuney went up against Myles Garrett, poked him in the eyes, took him out the game. Then he went up against
accident.
It's an accident, but he went against allegedly. So he went up against the Houston, Texas pass rushing D-line. They was talking stuff before the game, and they shut them out. Then he went against the Steelers, the ultimate steel wall, they like to call themselves. J.J. Watt and all those guys. They playing ball out there, but Thuney still hold his own. So if I'm Andy Reid, I'm keeping him right at left tackle just because of that. You went through a gauntlet in 11 days. In 11 days, somebody put you in a ring and say, you know what? We're going to put Nick in a ring versus Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and all these guys, and he still hold his own. So I'm gonna look at
you're really poor mossing Joe Thuney's abilities here.
So
he's really good, right? But I think just the way coach is going to look at it is that if we've got a natural left tackle, he's healthy, and he looks like he can hold his own, I think he's going to put him out there just because that he feels that now with those 5 all together will be better than having Caliendo out there playing guard, because in the grand scheme of things, you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. You've got like an ultimate left guard. You're pulling him from there. Yes, he's playing well at left tackle, but now maybe that left guard position isn't as good. If you look at the rushing numbers from this past weekend, if you can nitpick anything from the Steelers game, is the Chiefs had 20 carries for 69 yards.
Yeah, that's
as well as they played, and everything that was so great. And part of that was Patrick's rushing. So it wasn't like, I think everybody's a gaga over Kareem Hunt, 9 carries, 20 yards.
What would you rather have, a good passing offense or a good running offense?
That's the question.
That passing looks sweet. I'll take the pass.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, but maybe he's thinking that in the overall scheme of things, that those two together are better than Thuney and Caliendo together.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't. It depends, because you look at it from the defensive side of the ball too, and just like these curious situations where they bring in Humphries. Certainly, they brought him in for him to play. Right.
And,
they traded for Josh Uche, and he's a healthy scratch how many weeks in a row? And that to me is one of the more curious things about the end of this season, is that they actually traded for the guy. We want you. We gave something up, and you're a healthy scratch. How many weeks? I mean, how long would it take for somebody to pick up being an edge rusher just in a different defense? So I don't know what's going on with Uche. But again, these are the types of situations, these types of decisions that you have to make. And it may not be a popular decision, but I think there's a good shot that if DJ is healthy, he's going to start in the playoffs.
Well, we'll see.
Speaking of that, looking at all the injuries and why Joe Thuney is there at left tackle, and and Andy Reid still finds a way to have this team 15-1. Why isn't Andy Reid getting any love for Coach of the Year? Nick,
you know why?
I'm at a loss here. I'm listening to all these pundits and all these first time coaches, or teams are coming out of nowhere. I mean, the guy has won 3 Super Bowls of the last 6. He's going to play potentially in his 7th consecutive AFC title game. He's got a chance to be the first 3-peat coach in NFL history. He has had to deal with an enormous amount of injuries. He's had to deal with some inconsistencies on his roster, in the plays, bad play calls, bad execution. Yet his team's 15-1. And he, just today was the first time I noticed a trend upward, and his odds have actually increased to, I think, number 3. They were like 7 or 8 or 9 prior to this 3-game gauntlet. And I think people are realizing what a great head coach he is. And it's just a shame. He's only won this crown once. And that was at Philadelphia when he got him to the Super Bowl. And he hasn't even sniffed it since. Yeah. And it's just all this flavor of the month head coaches. I mean, Sean Payton's getting love. Forget it. Harbaugh's getting some love. You look at what the guy in Minnesota has done. You look at some of these other teams, and you think, well, have they won anything? They haven't. Andy Reid deserves to be
the coach of the year is the coach of the year, not for their career. So this is. Right. I mean, we can talk about all the accolades and whatever, but how many times did Belichick win coach of the year? It just doesn't happen. You've got I think, in my opinion, you've got human beings voting on the award, and it normally goes to a guy that has come into a situation that wasn't expected. I was about to say that, yeah. And they flip it. They completely flip it. So that's why Harbaugh is getting love. That a team that was losing record for years, now all of a sudden he's got them in the playoffs. Sean Payton, they had to eat so many millions of dollars against the cap. He's got a rookie quarterback playing. He's got him in the playoffs. Now, he probably won't get it because he's got pelts on the wall. He's a Super Bowl champion, and that should not come into effect, right? Dan Campbell, who hasn't won it, should be in the running for it with all those injuries. How they've kind of kept this train rolling, even though they're too deep on defense is like mostly injured. And KOC, again, he may get it, but this is his second year in Minnesota. So he's still kind of in that embryonic stage of his career. So he may still be eligible, if you would. Now I use air quotes there because everybody should be eligible for it. But typically it's that guy that turns things around. Hey, Dan Quinn probably, even though he's been a Super Bowl coach, he flipped that thing around. They've got a 10-win team with a rookie quarterback. They haven't been to the playoffs in years, so he's going to be up there for it. So, but you won't see guys like John Harbaugh up for the award. You won't see guys like Andy Reid up for the award. Sean Payton, outside chance, but typically it's the new guy that.
You just said it. You just said it, Lou. It's the new coaches that's taking the team from shits and giggles, man, and making them relevant. You know what I'm saying? Because Andy Reid being the top dog for the last decade. So they're not gonna give it to Andy Reid.
They get taken for granted. We've talked about the same thing with like the MVP award. Yes. Michael Jordan was the MVP every single season he ever played. You had to make a case for somebody that came out of nowhere, even though Michael had, he just every year he was the best player. He was the most valuable player.
Yeah. Well, Andy started 9-0 in his first season in Kansas City and got no loves, and they went 11-5. They won a playoff game. Right. So it's like still nothing. So
he had won it before. He'd been to a Super Bowl.
But that was a big turn. The Chiefs were 2-14.
Who the number one pick in that year?
It's completely unfair. It is, but that's just the way.
The hate for Kansas City is not going to allow Andy Reid to
just get the bling. Just get the bling.
I feel like he should. He deserves it, man. You know what I mean? All the way he shifted the offensive line around, the way the receivers going down, the injuries. He still brought in D-Hop, brought in this person. Elevated this person, and the Chiefs are still 15-1. So, I know I hear the guys or the new guys are coming in, and like Dre said, pooping, whatever he said.
Did you say pooping?
Pooping giggles.
Yes, this is
pooping giggles. He said
we are PG-13 here.
That is PG. That's European. That's how they say it in Europe. Poop.
So wherever it says when it's all said and done, I feel like he still should get it. So if he does get it, I kudos to him. So
the Associated Press might give it to him because they have a whole separate system.
They vote on the awards.
Yes.
So
but there's a separation of NFL Coach of the Year.
I think
by
there
the
might
writers,
be
national writers.
I think the AP those are kind of like the official ones that get out at honors. But I also think. Now there's other awards or other like factions, what's the NFLPA or whatever that might give out awards that he wins, but you don't see it publicized. But I mean, when you talk about Coach of the Year, it's usually the AP ones that that's widely accepted as those are the ones that give out that they get at honors.
So who should? So next question is, who is the Chiefs MVP this season? Who would
Tony.
you put in there vote for?
Tony.
Joe Tony?
Okay.
He's going O-line. All right.
Well, you know, a long shows ago, I was like, why come the line doesn't get love? And today's the day.
Yeah, 3 straight wins, 11 days. Thuney was terrific.
And he battled Garrett. I mean, it was a war.
All the Rubik's Cube on the left side.
Yeah,
that Wanye Morrison
right.
and Kingsley Sumatea could not do.
That's right.
And, you know, I would say, I mean, I agree with that, the MVP. For me, you know, I think, to me, I'm going to go with Trent McDuffie just because I think that, I'm sorry, I probably stole that from you, Hense. Apologize. I just think the way he kind of struggled early, and then the Chiefs started to, there you go. The Chiefs started to kind of figure some things out defensively. The young guys played, and he has been the most dominant quarterback in the NFL the last month. You know, he's got his third turnover or created his third turnover. You know, he's playing great against the run. You know, I think he did a terrific job on Pickens when he was covering him. And I just think if you have that kind of player in your secondary, every team has to take notice. And he's just not content on making a single decision in a snap. He'll make 2 or 3. You know, he might get beat, but then he'll go to strip the ball. Or, you know, he might be out of position and he comes into position to maybe knock a ball down or to tie up a receiver. I agree with J.J. Watt. I think he's the best cornerback in the NFL right now, the way he's playing. But he would be my MVP.
You want me to go, Hense?
I'll go. If I had to choose, it had to be, it'd be George Kalafis. I'll put it as a tie. Can I have a tie award? George Kalafis.
We will allow it. Peanut Gallery says yes.
George Kalafis, but I really, you know, George Kalafis, but I really think the award should go to number 98, Wharton. You know what I mean? The kid came from a small school. I call him I call him Aaron Donald S. The kid is playing his lights out. You know, even Chris Jones went out there and the kid still shined. He was getting through double team and still causing havoc in the backfield. You know, he was unblockable. So if I had to give it to it, it'd be George Kalafis, or you know, it'd be the Wharton, number 98. I think he deserves much more.
I think the fact that we're all mentioning different guys goes to kind of just the fabric of the culture of the team. Is that any one of those guys is certainly worthy of it, is certainly deserving of it, and typically could get it. I mean, I go right to the top. 15 is the guy that holds this whole damn thing together. Forget about the numbers or anything else, but just with the grit that he plays with, they follow that guy wherever the hell he goes. Everybody's okay with the ball being spread around. You don't see any diva type antics from anybody on offense that's not getting theirs or they're perceived to be slighted. I mean, you had, as well as they played again on Christmas, D-Hop had 2 catches for 7 yards. Now, if that would have been like somebody like Stephon Diggs, you would have heard about it for like the next week, right? Or somebody like that. So I don't know. I mean, we tend to, and I don't think we do it like knowingly, but I just think some of that is built in where you take Patrick for granted, is that we know he's going to play well. If everybody else does their jobs, this team is going to be hard to beat. But he has to play well all the time.
Yes, he does.
In those clutch situations, that even though it doesn't look good the whole game, or he's not having a particularly good game,
right?
When the money's on the table and it's there to be had, he's the one with the ball in his hands and usually is making the play. So it's lazy. I don't know. I just think he's the MVP.
I think Tony is because, again, like by you saying about Patrick Mahomes panicking this year, I mean, he'd been off this year, the pressure. It's just been so much pressure in the last 2 games, but throwing on the outside, you seen how great this offense can be. You see where the Chiefs at right now. The Chiefs looks dangerous right now, right? So you got to understand, like, this whole year has been Mahomes getting beat down. Mahomes been off. Mahomes been pressured, right? So again, McDuffie been playing. He's been up and down. I get McDuffie. George been up and down too a little bit, right? Bo been up and down. Who?
98. He been consistent all year.
Who?
Wharton.
No, I ain't bringing up Ward. I'm talking about the 2 guys, Bowden and McDuffie. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying, when Tony came out there on the side, he was the glue that made this is the offense we want to see from the Chiefs. This is the offense right now. When Tony is on the outside protecting Mahomes, this is the offense we want to see.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think another MVP has to go to the receivers when the ball is not focused their way. And if you watch the Steelers game in particular, with D-Hop, had 2 catches for 9 yards, 7 yards, but he was the decoy on the Travis Kelce touchdown. He was blocking the blitzing corners. Kelce was in there blocking. All the other receivers, with the exception of Worthy because he can't block. But Watson's out there, Noah Gray's out there. And they just accept their role, and there's no ego there.
None.
And again, Andy Reid designs plays that are dependent on other guys who are not a focal point of the play to do their job. Misdirection, going in motion, stopping your route.
I don't want to cut you off there, Nick, but case in point, on the interception that Reid made, the announcers were all over it.
Yep.
The only reason Reid was able to kind of hunt the ball on that play was that Pickens stopped his route, and he didn't have that responsibility anymore. So there's what can happen if guys don't finish the play.
And that's the thing. And you go back to the Commanders game against the Eagles, when he's, with Daniels was running that 4th down run, and he cut back. And the Commanders receiver had a chance to block one guy, and he walks into the end zone, and he doesn't do it. He doesn't even attempt it. He just kind of walks by him and sticks his elbow up a little bit. That doesn't happen in Kansas City. And, that's why you look at these guys, and I've watched this game over maybe 3 times, since it aired, and I just look at specific things. And, kudos to Andy for, saying to these guys, listen, you may not be the focal point, but this is still your job, and they all do it gladly. And that's what I think is so special about this team and about this unit of receivers.
Right.
Speaking of this team, are the Chiefs on a collision course with the Ravens? Could these two teams meeting up? Luke?
Well, yes, and it's going to come down to. I'm trying to picture kind of the bracket in my head. And
take your time, Lou.
They would have to, it's either it's going to be Buffalo, Baltimore at some point, right? For the opportunity to get to the,
more than likely, unless they fall in the wild card round, right?
To the AFC Championship game. So if you throw it, it's either the Ravens or the Bills. I think the Ravens defense is playing a little bit better than Buffalo's is. And given their health and Derrick Henry and the fact that they've beaten Buffalo before, I'm going to say yes.
Dre.
Hell no. The Bengals is the collision course. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Nick, go ahead.
So in terms of the Bengals, now for them to get in, right? A lot of stuff has to happen. Teams have to lose. I think Denver they have to beat Denver, and then Denver would have to lose to the Chiefs. I think they also need maybe the Colts and the Dolphins to lose. So let's just say all of that happens, right? So now they're the 7 seed. Right. They've got to go to Buffalo and play. Now they've done that before and won.
Right.
Then there's your collision course in the divisional round. Cincinnati is the 7th seed, would be going to Arrowhead. So
That's why I love it.
That's
why I love it.
That is Coach's scenario.
That's
Just
a
wanted to
mustard
get
seed.
that out there.
1% scenario, but you never know. I remember when the Chiefs were when Herm Edwards was here, and the last day of the season, five teams had to lose and the Chiefs had to win. I'm sorry, it was 4 teams, and the Chiefs get in the playoffs.
Wasn't that the day Kevin Harlan was calling both games? When
no. This was in the Herm Edwards era.
Oh, okay.
This is way back.
That was for the 1 seed.
This was just to be the 6th seed at the time. So, and kudos to Herm. He did a great job. But listen,
mustard seed.
I think the road is so difficult for the Ravens because I think to have to win back-to-back games against opponents who I think are going to match up well against them, and then Lamar Jackson has to remove the stigma that's followed him. I mean, he's only 2-5 in the postseason, and
looking at it in that scenario, they would get the Bengals.
They would get the Bengals, and that would be a tough game for them.
Or they're going to get Denver coming into Baltimore. I mean, I don't know if any of those teams are. Maybe the Chargers fall to the 7th seed somehow, and they get the Harbaugh Bowl again.
Right.
So I think they're going to win that first game.
Yeah, but assuming they do.
Yeah.
But still, then they got to go to Buffalo more than likely, and I think. Again, I mean, I spent a little time studying Lamar Jackson this morning because the narrative the narrative is, and the national pundits, he has to win a Super Bowl to be legitimate. He doesn't have to. He's arguably one of the best players in the NFL.
I'm surprised.
But then again, you look at this 58 Super Bowl. Hold on.
If not this season, then when?
Exactly. If not last season, then when? I mean, he had it. Right. He had it.
Yeah.
So you've watched. So this will be the 59th Super Bowl. 59th. In the previous 58, no running quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. Not one. Steve Young, sort of the closest.
Yeah.
But beyond that, and Steve was a passer first. If it was up to Lamar, he'd run all day long. But he's had a terrific year throwing the ball this year. And he's got Zay Flowers, and he's got some really good tight ends and Lively, and I can't think of the other guy's name, but at the end of the day, he's played really well, and he's got, arguably the best running back in the AFC, who when he's on, the Ravens are difficult to defeat. When he's off, it's not so difficult.
I look at it, could they, meet up? No, because I feel like Houston is going to be out of this. I feel Houston's going to fall out the playoffs, and the Colts going to take that spot.
No, they can't. They've already won. They've
already won the division.
Well, they won the division. Well, but not. With that said, I feel like the Chargers are going to be there. Like I said before, I feel like it's going to be the Chiefs and the Chargers in the AFC Championship. I'm just saying, maybe some way that happened. It stir up.
So you think a hypothetical, you think the Chargers and Chiefs going to play the AFC Championship? You don't care where the Chiefs may fall, how it happens. You believe that's going to happen. That's going to be the game.
I feel like that's going to happen.
Let's see how the Chargers do this weekend. Tomorrow, coming east to play in New England. Now, maybe the weather doesn't really affect them just because of the way they play, the way they're built. But let's see what happens because now, the games mean a lot more. And they're still playing one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, but the Chargers are playing without their 2 starting running backs.
But you're going on the road, playing that early window, and this is kind of maybe not a playoff atmosphere, but to kind of prove to yourself that hey, we can go somewhere on the road late in the year and play a full game. So we'll see.
We'll see.
So with that said, guys, that was our topics of the day. Let's get into our sponsors before we close up.
All right. First up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone that can help you buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City area, give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785. You can email him at eselskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Fact. or cap.
That's right. Another proud sponsor is my amazing wife, Emily Athan. If you're looking for a flexible health coverage option, whether it be a private plan or a marketplace plan, give her a call at 913-215-9086 and let her put a quote together for you today.
Emily.
That's right. And our newest sponsor, Resell Electronics.
Emily.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
If you're looking for a consumer electronic experience like no other at a great value and a great price, check out the guys at Resell Electronics. They've got 2 locations in Independence, 1214A South Nolan Road and down on Nolan Road and 40 Highway inside the flea market. Make sure when you walk in, you tell them that Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie Sports sent you, and you'll get 10%. In the meantime, check out what they got, deals they got on their website at resell.electronics.com.
Resell
Electronics.
Happy holidays, Vito. Hope all's well with you.
What would it be like if Hense did the whole show with the voice box there?
I would probably lose my mind.
We would have to really let Hense just talk to him because he'll dominate everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that said,
There is an echo in here.
I don't know if this a person that's been here, Lenny the Cool.
Yeah, he
Dog?
has. Yep,
Yeah,
he's been here
that's
before.
Quite the moniker to take.
Love
Now
it.
is that like a Lenny tribute account, or did you just take the name Lenny the Cool Dog?
There was no Lenny the Cool, man. Best.
Or what about Casey Hottie? I think that's what it is.
Casey Holt.
Yes.
Holt.
I'm not sure about Casey Holt, but welcome. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
G-Pick joined us today.
Very nice.
Let's see who else. David Giles returned. We appreciate that. Of course, Kenny. And Gary came in as well. Appreciate you guys. Ruben's the man. He's always first up. Look at that. First up. Hey guys, we appreciate that as well. I don't think I forgot anybody, but if I did, I apologize. Again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get the notifications of when we're on. If you want to contribute a few bucks to the cause to pay the bills around here, we would appreciate that as well. It's the holiday season. Let's be
with that said, again, happy birthday to Coach Dre.
Look at that. What do you call that face, Coach? What is that face?
It's a very unique look.
What do you have to see for you to make that face?
I don't know. It's just a vision, man. In my head.
Booty cheeks.
Gotcha. All right.
It's just a vision, man. It's like for real. It's the mood, man. It's like just the mood thing.
Hey, are you guys watching the in-season Hard Knocks?
No, I have not watched a single minute.
It's really, really good because of the fact they're doing the entire division, the AFC North. So the Chiefs were kind of featured a little bit the last 2 weeks because they played the Browns and the Steelers, of course. But then the matchup between, and you really get, it's like a Mike Tomlin reality show, really, when it comes down to it.
Boy,
but the other coaches, same thing in the buildings. I highly recommend it, even though, we're a few weeks into it. I think as long as an AFC North team stays alive in the playoffs, they're going to continue all the way through the Super Bowl if they've got one. So the guy from Films had mentioned that on one of the shows, but yeah. And also, Hense, I got to tell you on air, I finished The Penguin last night. Top notch. Great recommendation. Awesome. Colin Farrell.
Is it better than the original Penguin?
Colin
Batman
Farrell as the Penguin knocks it out of the park. Absolutely amazing. So the makeup alone is just it's just
what he went through.
Top notch.
3 hours to put it on, an hour to take it off every day.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I have not watched it yet. So
okay. Me and Nick both in the same boat.
No, I haven't watched it. I just got done watching
Sonic 3.
I just got watching the new Jackal series.
Really?
Day of the Jackal, I blew through that.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
Like Lou would say, man, listen, I'm trying to go full speed today or tomorrow, man. I'm trying to see Sonic 3. I've been hearing great reviews on Sonic. Great reviews on Sonic, man. I'm a Sonic guy.
Are you a Shadow guy?
Yeah, I like Shadow.
You like Shadow?
Okay.
I'm more of a Knuckles.
Yeah, you like Knuckles?
Yeah. So you said what was the name of that? Yeah, Jack
The
what?
day of the Jackal. It was a movie back in the day. I mean,
in the
going back
70s,
many
and then Bruce
years.
Willis did a version in the 90s.
But it's on
Hey,
Peacock.
Terrifier 3 is a gruesome movie. It's gruesome, G. It's gruesome.
I'm
Like
not here to
my son was watching Jackal. My son
he's a white
was watching Jackal. Yeah, my son was
Eddie Redmayne. He's in that. It's kind of a he was in some of those wizard movies, not Harry Potter, but he was. I think younger people would know him from that.
Okay.
And everybody's saying Penguin 10 out of 10. It's the best series. That's
probably the only thing that came out of the Batman movie they remade.
So is it on Paramount? Is it on
Max.
It's on HBO Max.
Yeah. HBO Max.
Yep.
All right, watch it.
Get the free 7-day trial.
The Chiefs,
I'm cool. It just hasn't been a lot of movies on Max coming out.
Chiefs don't play in 9 days, so I've been catching up on shows. So that's why I'm
that's fair.
Yes, well, that's what we're here. That's what we're here to do. The 4 guys in the bar. We're
maybe Monday we should pick our top 5 streaming shows.
Multiverse. That always turns into a fight.
All right,
but no, let's do it. Sure, why not?
All right, let's do that. Top five streaming shows that we've seen this year. And we'll do a segment
work them right into the 6-pack, right?
Well, let me go ahead and get to watching movies then, because I'm off.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Coach. That's going to do it for today.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
On behalf of myself, Nick Athan, and our other elves, Hense Todd, Lou Montagna, and Andre Tillman, we appreciate everybody. Appreciate the new people who are joining in the Blitzers. And check out Monday, 1:30 Central Time. We'll be back. We'll have 1 week of the regular season left. It means absolutely nothing to the Chiefs, but we're going to be here anyway and talk about a lot of great things. So everybody have a fabulous weekend. Post Merry Christmas and on to 2025 when the Kansas City Chiefs will make a run to become the first 3-peat champion in NFL history. And I'm all for it.
Go.
Peace out, guys.
Whenever it comes up.